Here in this video, we will be going over all of your Tesla stock breaking news this afternoon. But first, the results are in. I ran a poll on YouTube that says the next $50 move in Tesla stock will be higher or lower. Higher would be $262 per share, lower would be $162 per share. And 65% of you guys said the next $50 move in Tesla stock will be higher from here. And actually, a lot of people agree with that. Jake over here on X, with about 250,000 followers, says Tesla. This Williams percentage range and RSI signal continues to suggest a short-term bottom is near. Bar chart on X points out Tesla is currently trading at one of its most oversold levels in the last 3 years. This means a bounce is probably underway. We probably seen the start of that on Friday. It looks like the sellers of Tesla stock got exhausted and the buyers stepped in on Friday. This looks like a hammer candlestick pattern where you fall in the beginning of the day, you hit a low, buyers step in and push the stock to almost the high of the day where you eventually close. This is typically a good sign that buyers are stepping in, and let's be honest, Tesla at $212 per share, if you're a fundamental guy and you see things for right now and maybe you're not looking for the next 5 or 10 years down the line, well, right now even valuations look pretty attractive if margins can bottom, which is probably what just happened. FUDBoss on X says Gary Black has been wrong about the Cybertruck halo effect. Terrible range and specs won't do sales any favors. Brand damage will hurt sales, not increase it. He was wrong about margin stabilizing in Q2 of 2023 also. Gary Black says, you're wrong as usual. Cybertruck has only been out a few weeks. Let's see what happens in 2024. I also believe you're wrong on Tesla auto gross margins. My forecast is they would bottom in Q4. We obviously don't know 2024 Q1 auto gross margins just yet. The Cybertruck has now arrived in China for its national tour. China's BYD plans to end production of the pouch-type batteries used in its best-selling EVs as the automaker seeks to address durability concerns and the risk that they could leak. Oh man, if this news came out about Tesla, the stock would be down like 20% the next day. Here you can see the first satin red wrap of the Cybertruck. Stellantis CEO said there is a bloodbath coming if EV makers follow Tesla and Musk in the race to the bottom. Quote, I know a company that has been brutally cutting pricing and their profitability has brutally collapsed. Taurus also noted without naming Tesla. It's possible that that does change coming here in 2024. Yes, Tesla did reduce prices already, but it is possible that Tesla focuses more on profitability in 2024 than reducing prices at all cost, and that would be a positive for Tesla stock, but I think that is purely speculation on this week's upcoming earnings. As you know, anything can happen in regards to Tesla. Franz, Tesla's chief designer, visited China recently. Tesla's global inventory numbers still very elevated for the Model Y. Model 3 has spiked a little bit recently by about 200 inventory vehicles, but still sitting at what looks like a 12-month low. Model S inventories very low also, and Model X at about 1,900, but still pretty much in line with their 12-month average. Google Trends data for the Tesla lineup shows a deceleration for the Cybertruck, a slight deceleration for the Model 3, but an uptick in Model Y search trend activity, which is quite large, going from 30 to 37. Tesla continues to run about 400 different ads globally. Over the last 24 hours, something strange is happening on StockTwits. The sentiment on Friday was extremely bullish at 99 as Tesla stock hit that low and started to recover and go positive by the end of the day. But yesterday, well, over the last 24 hours, the sentiment has turned bearish to 43, which is very interesting heading into this next week. Message volume went from low at 42 one day ago to 11 today, which is extremely low. But the participation ratio has been increasing to 45. So more people talking about Tesla, more people that are bearish, and low message volume. That's strange. It seems like to me this sets Tesla up in an optimal position heading into Tesla's earnings. When everyone is bearish, when Tesla's RSI is oversold, heading into an earnings event, that means, well, in simple terms, the next $50 move from here is probably higher rather than lower. Your odds of making money are much higher now than they were before. But this market is truly a tale of two stories. The percentage of stocks above their 50-day moving average, yes, it was up 5% on Friday, but still only 62% of stocks are above their 50-day moving average. That is lower than what you've seen even in July, when you were trading in the 72 to 78% range. But take a look at the SPY. The S&P 500 broke a new all-time high on Friday by quite a bit. That was a big move. The S&P was up 1.25% on Friday. Comparing that to July's high of 456, I mean, the average stock is not doing so great. With that being said, I do want to point out a potential risk factor that will be on January 31st with Fed Jerome Powell. But believe it or not, as the markets have went from pricing in 7 rate cuts to now pricing in 5 rate cuts in 2024, you have de-risked January 31st. Odds are, coming on January 31st, Powell can be a little bit more dovish than he otherwise would have been if the markets were still pricing in 7 or 8 rate cuts. And in fact, the markets are no longer even pricing in the first rate cut for March. Currently, there's 52.9% odds of a pause and 46.2% odds of a rate cut. So if we're still not pricing in a rate cut by March, I don't think Powell's going to be the most dovish that we've heard from him, but I don't think he's going to be super hawkish as well. I think he's pretty comfortable with the first cut in May, which is currently what is priced in by the markets. Something else we want to watch pretty closely here is the 10 and 2-year yield curve. Now, it's been inverted for about 18 months now, ever since June of 2022, almost 2 years. Well, you hit the low, you were inverted about 1.06%. You've started to uninvert. You hit that low in June of 2023. You've been uninverting ever since, but now you're pretty close to going positive again. And that's actually when you are heading into a recession or already in a recession. Option activity in Tesla stock on Friday was definitely on the slower side. You had 689 orders. These are from hedge funds and institutions. These are not retail trades, worth $196 million and a positive order value of 54%. The volume on Friday was also 59.17% calls and 40.83% puts. Over the entirety of last week, you have seen about 4,100 orders totaling $12.15 billion and a positive order value of 45%, which I actually think is quite strong given the downside that we did see last week in Tesla stock. There continues to be heavy interest in shorting Tesla, with 9.87% cost to borrow fees, 3.24% short interest of free float, and about $19 billion worth of short positions. The short sellers that have pushed Tesla stock down to $212 per share, those are the guys that are potentially in a world of hurt that, well, could start to get squeezed out of their short positions if earnings are good. And I don't know, maybe I'm crazy for thinking we might get some really good news, like a $25,000 vehicle potentially coming by the end of this year, more clarity on FSD and what the timing could look like for Robotaxi or Optimus or even Dojo, when that could be operational and potentially servicing software as a service to other companies. There's so many different things that could be announced, even maybe better than expected guidance. Wall Street is only guiding for about 20% delivery growth in 2024. Maybe that comes in higher. Maybe we get confirmation of margins bottoming. Maybe we do get reaffirmation that margins are not going to go lower. Any of these things are going to have an outsized bullish impact on Tesla stock. And again, those short sellers that shorted Tesla over the past 2 weeks or so are in a very bad position if Tesla stock bounces here. You could start to see shorts covering on their short positions, and that's one reason why I do as well believe the next $50 move from here is going to be higher, but it may not be up and to the right in a straight line. In the next video, we will be going over all of your economic data for this upcoming week. There is a lot of it, and what my final expectations are for Tesla's earnings and where I expect Tesla stock to go. Speaking of earnings, there are a lot of them this week. Monday and after hours, United, Logitech. Tuesday pre-market, Verizon, 3M, GE, RTX, Johnson & Johnson, Lockheed Martin, and more names. Tuesday after hours, Netflix, Intuitive Surgical, Texas Instruments. Wednesday pre-market, AT&T, ASML, Abbott, Progressive, a couple other names as well, Kimberly Clark. Wednesday after hours, Tesla, IBM, ServiceNow, Las Vegas Sands, Lam Research, and Berkeley. Thursday pre-market, American Airlines, Next Era Energy, Alaska Airlines, Southwest Airlines, and Humera. Thursday after hours, Intel, Visa, Capital One, T-Mobile, Levi's, and Friday pre-market, you're going to get American Express. You want to think about certain sectors here, like Intel will affect the chips, Tesla will affect auto, Netflix will affect the Magnificent Seven, kind of like the same way Tesla will. IBM, ServiceNow, think software, Las Vegas Sands, leisure, travel, hospitality. Same thing with United, Alaska, Southwest. Credit card companies, Capital One, American Express, Visa. That's going to affect fintechs and even banks to a lesser extent. And considering the S&P 500 is pricing in about 11% EPS growth for 2024, we are in a vulnerable position if some of these earnings start to come out, well, not as ideal as expected. But after all, Gary Black says, in 2024, we should all try to work together to vanquish the Tesla shorts. And I think that is exactly what is about to happen. Let me know what you think about all of this information down below in the comment section. Unfortunately, there's not that much other news to go over in regards to Tesla specifically. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you guys want to come trade with us live in real time every time we make trades. Check out that link down below in the description of this video. We have a very specific earnings strategy that has over an 80% win rate. Some of these trades as well can be huge winners. You obviously have to have risk management and due diligence and patience, but I think you guys would benefit from that if you want to join the trading community. If you have any questions, whether you are an expert or you are just starting off, you've never traded an option before, that is a great place to be. Again, if you guys want to join it, check out that link down below in the description of this video. I do have quite a large position currently in some Tesla calls that I think are going to work awesomely heading into Tesla's earnings. So thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.